Very verbose people. So without further ado, please welcome Patricia Fripp.
That's right. Put up our banner. Okay. As I said to Gary, I don't mind hogging the show. However, for the video, now, what moved? Was it the cart or... I believe whoever swiveled this before made it better. Who's the genius behind the making this line up? All right, good. Don't you love a man who follows behind you and makes your life easy?
Whatever I can.
He might be helping with my PowerPoint. However, if I had all his money, I'd throw mine away. Let's go back to looking at your speech diagram. I promise you, you have a speech structure. You might not be aware you do, and you do. Elaine, who has been through so many coaching camps, with Darren LaCroix, Lady in the Champ, she's a mastery member, which means she can come to our community events for the rest of her life. She will be going long after I am dead because my partners are a lot younger. You had a question. Come on down. Where is a microphone? So your question of me was?
I'm confused. I have a presentation I'm doing now, and it sort of fits, but I'm not seeing how I can tie my business experience into it.
What we are going to do is to improve the quality of every word that we use. Understand the difference between a conversation and a conversational sounding presentation. What we do is we take, see, a conversation, you go back and forth. There's no agenda. You don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to come out of our mouths. With a presentation, even a flexible flowing, I just have the overview type of approach. We think in advance, and we make selections of what would be our best word choices. So what I would like you to now say to our friends is, there is a presentation I frequently deliver.
There's a presentation that I frequently deliver.
What's the difference? A stronger verb. That's it. You don't do a presentation, you deliver a presentation. You put it under a magnifying glass. And again, if you want to stand out, even as an academy member, as a novice speaker, look at how the quality of your words that you use can make your message sound more powerful. So Elaine, to sell out crowds, we were on a program together recently, and your presentation is called?
Improv to improve your communication.
Improv to improve your communication. We all know we have to communicate in our everyday lives, our corporate world. However, raise your hand if you've ever been to an improv class. Raise your hand if you've ever seen improv conducted and thought, wow, that's clever, I could never do that. Believe me, I took one improv class and I thought, this is far too fast moving for my fuzzy little brain. I am an improv dropout, one class, never went back. However, my life is involved with communications. I want to hear. I really want to hear what she has to say. Your premise is you, NSA members, or you, technology executives, can improve the quality of your communications through improv. That's your premise. The question then is how? I'm an analytical engineer. I think improv is creative, and I'm not a creative person. So what, just looking down, let's start at the top, although, we come back to the top. So one, let's just say a more analytical business crowd is thinking, how can I, as an engineer, do what I see all the clever folks on TV do? I'm entertained, but I can't imagine how to do it, and I can't imagine why or how it would improve my communication. So you have a curious audience. You need to somehow give me an explanation of why it's pertinent to average people, average smart people. Now, your 3 techniques. So let's take yours down the page. Your first technique is?
Saying yes and.
Saying yes and. And what is your day job?
The last day job I had, IT project manager for desktop.
See, perfect. A perfect target audience. So now we know she belongs in, or she used to belong in our world. Now she's in this different world. She's not Drew Carey, but she's learned something Drew Carey knows. So what I would suggest you do, your yes and, look within your corporate life to perhaps a situation that you were in before you took improv, and how did you handle that communication? Or perhaps it was giving feedback to somebody. Or you're sitting around a boardroom and your team is giving creative ideas and everyone's saying, oh, we tried that before, that didn't work, whatever negative it was, and you took that situation. I acknowledge that, Ian. Yes, that is true, and... So to make this real for me as a real person, I want your technique, your point of wisdom. I want to hear it in the boardroom. Then what you might want to do is give an example from improv. Then what you can do just for fun, bring a couple of people up and do it. Now, perhaps if you've got a couple of your friends who know all the techniques, perhaps what they're going to do is model it. Then you get volunteers, depending on how long your session is, because the same outline can be a 45-minute speech. It can be an all-day seminar. The only difference is how you model it and how you get the audience involved. Would you say in the second technique is?
Hearing offers.
Hearing offers. Do you have an example from your corporate world of when someone was... that you could relate to?
Not on the tip of my tongue. I have one from a telemarketer that works.
Perfect.
Would that be fine?
Sure.
Everyone's felt that. It's when you're at dinner. Phone rings. Hi, I'm from so-and-so charity. Thanks for contributing last year. Can we start you off at $100 this year? The kids are counting on you.
Okay,
Right?
good. Now, see, it doesn't matter. It's just all I'm suggesting is you give the technique and you give a real-life example that we can all relate to. Mm-hmm. And the one you picked, no matter what you do, we can all relate to that. Right. Perfect. Then you can do the improv or model, and then, oh, good. The third one is?
Making your partner look good.
Making your partner. There have to be multiple ways in all our careers that's important. So what you could do, and this is all a theatrical choice, and you decide what works best for the way you think. You can either introduce the idea, then give the improv, then give the everyday out of improv life situation. Then get them involved. And that might be even better. Is that what you're doing now?
No. No, we're doing a much more interactive. We get them up and playing the games, and it's more of a lecture about what the point is, and then we get them up and play the games.
And that can be fine, and I know you're getting rave reviews, so it's obviously working. And you can have an audience of 500 people and get them interactive. However, what I would suggest you work on is finding real life situations that you can give examples, even if you were in a situation that you really couldn't get the audience involved. Then you're developing real content, and because you couldn't write a white paper or an article or a blog post on what happens. You could explain it. You could explain how you make your partner look good in an everyday situation.
Yes.
If you were just introduced, do you have your open and your close?
I'm not really doing a very strong, no, not, I'm just, the way we're closing, we're promoting Toastmasters. So we're actually saying you can practice this at Toastmasters, here, here, and here, and we welcome up the person who's going to promote Toastmasters. That's how we're closing.
Okay. Well, but remember, we're going to get you a $5,000 speaking engagement. You won't be promoting Toastmasters. So we'll obviously have to come up with a great close. At this point, when you're at Genentech, when you got rave reviews, I know, do you remember how you opened?
We open by getting everybody up and doing a warm-up exercise where they're all shouting something out together to warm up their articulators. And then we go right into, hi, I'm Elaine, this is David, we're going to start you off, and here's our first point. So
Okay.
we just get right into the material without a strong opening.
All right. Well, I'm going to suggest, and it's not that that isn't working. I am suggesting you have options that could put you in more positions. Because if you walked into a boardroom, you couldn't get senior executives up on their feet doing that. However, what you could do is thank you for the opportunity to discuss how creating an improv group under the training and HR wing could promote teamwork, creativity, and employee commitment.
I like it.
All right, good. So you see, part of the creative process is taking what you're doing that works and brainstorm and look at different ways of how can you make it work equally well or better in a different format where what you're doing wouldn't apply.
Thank you.
All right, have I made, is that as clear as mud, or is giving you...
It helps because I was thinking about what I'm missing as you were speaking earlier. And you've come at it in a new angle with new eyes, and now I see it in a different way.
Okay. How about this for an opening? Now, who are your 3 favorite improv people that we would all know?
Probably Drew Carey. He's from Cleveland like me, so why not? Who else? So Robin Williams,
Okay.
everyone loves him.
Yeah.
And then on Dennis Miller on Saturday Night Live. He was
Okay.
an improv guy too.
How about, and this is just for fun, you could take all 3 of those individuals, what you learned from them. Now, here's an opening for you. absolutely true. You got the lines?
I think so.
All right. Here's Elaine. One clap.
Would it surprise you to know that Robin Williams' act was made up of all of his improv games done alone?
And that is absolutely 100% true. Because John Cantu, our dearly departed, Craig started a Toastmaster club, Laugh Lovers, based on Cantu's work. Robin Williams, John Cantu run the Holy City Zoo. When Robin Williams, Dana Carvey, Paula Poundstone, Wilder, they all got started. And Cantu had been in an improv group with Robin Williams. And he said, I would never have called my parents and said, I'm in an improv group with someone who's going to be a star. And Robin was not good at improv. As far as he's brilliant at improv, not in a group. Cantu said, we once had a scene where a bank hold-up. He said, Robin ate the gun. How can you play off eating the gun? All right. So we got some ideas. All right, good. So your opening line is, would it surprise you to know? Would it interest you to know? Would it amaze you to know? Now write these down. If your opening was, would it interest you to know? Remember what you are trying to do is engage the audience in your subject. So where are my Academy members? Think of your subject. Think of your $5,000 keynote speech. If your opening line was, would it interest you to know, what would be the next sentence? Raise your hand. There's one. Would it interest you to know? This is a way to transition into your content.
You can successfully overcome your fear and ask for $1 million donation.
Perfect. Okay, good. Now the next line is, would it horrify you to know? Raise your hand if you're in the Academy. Would it horrify you to know? What would follow?
Would it horrify you to know that even though I have an 8-to-5 job, I'm a master instructor for UCSC, that I still take care of a son in a coma?
That probably isn't the right follow-up. However, she follows Darren LaCroix's advice, stage time. Look at what follows. Would it surprise you to know? Would it interest you to know? Would it amuse you to know? Would it horrify you to know? Would it disgust you to know? That 83% of our rubbish could be recycled. Where's my friend who wants to do fundraising? Okay. Will that pose the question to me that you did at the break? Hold the mic nice and close to your voice.
The question I was actually originally asked you?
Yes.
I forgot. I wanted to ask you if you would be willing to participate in a fundraiser to support job creation programs for military veterans.
Well, what I can do is help you with a speech on how you can raise money, or when you are at that event, how you can ask for money. Who asks for money? So you have, all right. So if you're going to ask for money for your cause,
Miss Fripp, could you speak at the event?
Well, that's a whole different conversation. When is it? And where is it?
Actually, I'm planning it. I'm still
Okay,
trying to plan
well.
it.
It depends. What is much more helpful is to help people use the same format in a fundraising speech, whether you got 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 30 minutes. The secret of your good stories, and the same with engaging with your opening, is we have to populate our presentations with flesh and blood characters that other people can relate to. So in that case, you're going to start with a story. I wish you could meet Gary. He grew up in Modesto. And he knew from age 4 he was going to grow up and be a soldier like his dad and his grandfather and his great-grandfather. And with his 2 high school buddies, John and Fred, the day they were old enough, they were at the recruiting office and signing up. In other words, what you have to do is paint the scene of you understand, I'm making up this story and I'm getting emotional. An appealing character, because I am sure all of us are emotionally connected to people who serve our country. So you have to tell a story about what life was, how they recruited, and then, and it goes, you have real case studies. I do a lot of work with the Wounded Warrior Project. So I mean, I have all these real case stories. And then what happened, and you know, what was life when they came back? Well, right now we got to keep on track because you're not the only person here. So what you have to do is you paint the scene, and then you can say, it might horrify you to know. Then you give us the statistics. Remember, statistics can shock. However, when you emotionally connect with one real person, that you know his name and you know his backstory and you know when he came back and he was wounded, and his high school sweetheart was sitting at his bed with Walter Reed, and then one day he comes back after his 16th operation and there's a note. I'll always love you, but this isn't what I signed on for. Then he comes back and they have the parade, but after the parade everyone goes back to real life. So, you see, you tell the story, and then it can shock you with how many people are in Mark's position or John's position or whoever your character is. And then you can talk about the work of your organization. And then you say, at this point, I'm sure you are thinking, how can I help? And there are 3 ways. Your time, your money, your promotion, or a combination of them all. And now you might give a couple of examples, because there are a lot of people who have no money, but they have time. A lot of people have money, but they don't have time. That they can be corporate sponsors. So this is what you do. And then your close of your speech is the happy ever after of how your character now, because we are emotionally involved, we want to know he's okay. That he fell in love, he found a new sweetheart, and now he is making a valuable contribution. And that is the format. Remember, none of this is magic. It's technique, it's formulas. that you are then flexible to go from. But you never close asking for money. You ask for the money, and then you give us the end of the... So we can really see what our money and our contribution and our promotion can do. Does that make sense? Do we have any Academy members who who has a subject, they have a speech, they know they have content that's worth $5,000, they don't quite see how their speech fits in the speech model? Anyone we have not heard from, ask no thoughtful questions, and trying to get everyone involved. So, where's my bag? Academy, pull out a card. Mark Anthony. All right, come on down. Your MC for this afternoon. You have 5 seconds to think about your speech and how it's going to fit in the speech structure. Go. Pop it back, but we won't call him. All right. You got $5,000. Watch the speech.
Your customers are looking for you, but you're not attracting them.
Okay, take out the but.
I couldn't hear you.
Take the but out of your mouth.
Your customers are looking for you, and they're not finding you.
Okay. Or how about this? This is the new title.
Your customers are looking for you. Why are you staying hidden?
Now, all you can do whenever you're trying is just see who goes, or You know, drop the groans, go with the ooh. What is, so we know, really, your premise is you're going to let people know how your customers can find you.
Yes.
What are your talking points? What are your strategies?
I have an ideal customer persona. I have Facebook, and I have protecting your reputation online.
I don't care what you have, because we
Okay.
only care about us. So, tell us, if we want to have our customers find us, we need to, 1,
Create a business persona at Facebook.
okay, fine. 2,
Identify who your ideal customer is, because that's the person who wants to buy what you're selling before she finds you.
all right. Wouldn't that be step 1?
Well, it
Because
usually is.
based on step 1, now you see, this is the creative process. You come out your talks, now you think what's logical. Because when you know who your ideal customer is, and you might have multiple ideal customers, then you know how your Facebook business page persona, good. 3rd one,
You have to protect your reputation because people will check you out online before they call.
in fact, I was just at the Sales 2.0 conference, and the executives from Cisco and a lot of these big fancy firms said 67% of your customers know as much about what you're selling, sometimes more than your salespeople do. Because we're well informed. Good. All right, perfect. So you got your talking points. Just pick one of them.
Ideal customer persona.
Okay, good. So first of all, that is your first point of wisdom. Give me an explanation of that.
You need to define traits or characteristics of your ideal customer, because the more you know, the more able you are to publish content that will attract her. You need to know what she thinks of your profession, what pain point you can solve for her, and how much decision-making authority she has at work.
All right. Now, what is your day job?
I do SEO work. That's why I write content.
Okay, perfect. So this is your world. All right. So what you can do is give in 3 different examples of different clients that you've helped and how their ideal customer was created, how, so you can take it, give me one client or one type of business.
This person is a coach. She helps people who think their careers are stagnant.
All right, good. And did she know who her ideal client was before you helped her?
Yes, she does. She targets C-level.
All right, good. Then what did you add to the mix?
I'm creating more content that she can publish under her name and establish her branding.
All right, perfect. So now you have you might see your whole speech, it depends how long you've got. So that is, so you've given an explanation, you've given an example of a single person, a coach consultant. Now I want you to give us an example of how you work with somebody who is maybe a 200-person business. Then I want you to give me the Clorox, how the principles work with the corporate America. What you are doing with this, you are answering the unspoken question from your audience is, could he work, if I like his ideas, could he work with someone in my situation? And that's why you give different examples, one to prove that your points of wisdom and your advice works no matter whether you're a sole practitioner, an entrepreneurial firm, or big business. And then you do that with all the others. Is that what you're doing now?
It's not that well defined.
Will it make your developing your $5,000 speech easier now that you got on stage?
Yes, in a big way.
Perfect, good. Give him a hand.